Do you have a problem with hitting first serves? You're hitting them consistently too long, beyond that service line. If you're having that problem, I've got some tips for you today. Now, number one, you have to use a continental grip. That's going to enable you to get some spin. So continental grip, how do we get that? Okay, we're going to take the knuckle on the index finger right there on the inside and the heel pad. So the knuckle there and the heel pad. And we're going to put it on that bevel, on that small little bevel on the top side of the racket. Okay, so I'm going to put that knuckle and that heel pad there. That is a continental grip. Or you could call it the hammer grip, some people call it, or chopper grip, but you need that in order to impart some spin. Because that's exactly what you're going to need to prevent those first serves, those ones you're trying to hit with some pop on them, going long. You need spin to pull the ball down and in. So the first thing you have to do is realize I'm not hitting the ball flat. I'm not coming straight into the ball. So as your racket comes up, you know, when you're trying to hit it flat, you go straight into the ball, okay? And then you're going to finish. But when you start to impart some topspin to the ball, some spin, you're not coming straight into the ball anymore. You're going to be coming up to the ball from a different angle. So what is that angle? Okay, you're going to be coming up. Here's your toss, let's say. The racket's coming up. Now, if I was going to hit it flat, I'm going boom. But as the racket comes up to meet the ball, you want to come at the ball on edge. So the racket edge is going past the ball. Then you would pick up the ball and get your spin. So here's from a different angle. When I'm here, the racket's approaching the ball like this. Now, I pick up the ball. Once the edge of the racket gets by the ball, the edge goes by, I pick up the ball. But look at the position that the racket is in right now. It's moving, going to impart forward spin to the ball. That's all topspin is. You're making the ball spin forward. Why is that so good? Because when you make the ball spin forward, you're creating air pressure on top of the ball. So you don't have to be the type of player, when they serve, they can only clear the net by 1 foot rather, or 2 feet, okay? 1 or 2 feet. When you hit it flat, you have to keep the ball closer to the net. But when you get some spin on the ball, okay, now I can aim 4, maybe 5 feet over the net. And I've got enough spin to pull it down. So you're approaching the ball from this angle with the racket in this position. And from here, you're just going to go up and forward. You're going in. Now remember, on all your serves, if you have that continental grip, you are going to pronate. Pronate basically just means this. When you come in, you hit the serve and you go like this. Now, even if I was hitting topspin, it would look like this. You're still going to pronate. Slice. Even if you're thinking about coming around the side, your hand is going to pronate. Because the ball is only on the strings milliseconds, a millionth of a second. It's gone. So that's the idea. You want to think approach from a different angle. You're coming up this way. The other thing you want to remember, you don't want a high toss for sure. No. if anything, you want now to lower the toss slightly. Because if the toss is lower, okay, the racket will still be rising, all right? If the toss is lower, I can get that racket in this position, and you want that racket rising as you're hitting the shot. That gives you the low to high swing, which imparts the topspin. Now here's something else I'd like you to try, and this is just for imagery, okay? I just want you to imagine, let's say this is the ball right there, the edge of this racket. So I'm coming up on that diagonal angle. I catch the ball. I want you to imagine that you're just pulling the racket up and over the ball. I want you to just think like that. You're going up and over the ball. Now, this is not what physically happens. As I mentioned, you're going to pronate, because once you do this, the ball's already gone. And you might think you're doing this, but you're pronating. Okay, so try that just like this. Just imagine you're coming over the top right edge of the ball. That's going to give you some spin. So when you go out to practice this, I want you to think, approach the ball on that diagonal. Okay, so instead of coming flat in, you're coming up. Now, once the edge gets by the ball, you pick up the ball. And then you're going to completely snap the wrist and up. That's going to give you some spin. So I want you to think about approaching the ball from that new angle. And I want you also to try and think that you're actually coming over the top of the ball. That's not what happens, but I want you to imagine that happening. Now, when you first try this, you're going to have to really start to aim. I mean, you're going to have to aim higher, okay? Because typically when players first try to hit some topspin on their serves, the ball lands in the bottom of the net, or it hits the court before it even gets to the net, okay? But those are good signs, because that means you're going the right way. It means you're going up and you're trying to get the spin. But you're simply not used to aiming high enough. That's all it is. You have to change your window. So when I look at that net, and on the back fence, you can see the logo, you see the big ball on the back fence, I might be looking at that ball saying, that's how high I want to clear the net. From here, that looks like 4 feet, 5 feet over the net, something like that. And you may not, that may seem, weird to you to aim that high. But remember now, you're getting the spin that's going to pull the ball back down. So I want you to focus on 2 points. Mainly, don't toss it too high. You want the racket to be in this position as it's rising. And I want you to imagine you're coming over the top of the ball. And then if you're hitting in the net, don't change what you were doing, but just give yourself a higher window, like that ball on the back fence. I want you to look 4 or 5 feet over the net. And that's the spot I want you to aim for with your net clearance. Okay, let's take a look in slow motion. The hands come back, the weight transfers to the back foot. Now as the hands come up, the weight will start to transfer to the front leg. Toss goes up, knock the party hat off. Okay, right there you can see the racket is in a good position rising up into the ball. That's going to give me a little bit of that forward swing. Look at how high that ball is clearing the net. It's not at the net yet, but it's still high, and I have pronated. You could see the pronation in that shot. Okay, again, in slow motion. Weight's on the front foot. As the hands drop and come back, the weight goes to the rear foot. As the hands come up, the weight's going to transfer. I'm going to go to that platform position. Right there is the platform position. Knock the party hat off. The racket is rising as I go to meet the ball. Notice the pronation. The hand will go out to the right side, right there. Look at the net clearance. Again, safely clearing the net, but it has the spin, so it's pulling the ball down into the box. Well, I hope you've gleaned some information from that video that's going to help you with your first serve percentage. It can be very frustrating to keep hitting the ball long with the serve, and then you have to kind of patty cake the ball in on the second. One other thing I forgot to mention on that serve, I am swinging just as fast as I do on my regular flat first serve. I'm just putting more energy into spin. Spin equals control. Okay, that's going to help you clear that net by 4 or 5 feet and control the ball. You're going to get that nice arc down into the box. So please give this video a thumbs up, give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Post any questions or comments. My website is in the description box. Check that out. I've got numerous courses for all aspects of the game. Happy serving, guys. Take care.